Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We are getting into Love Island All Stars episode 34 and 35. 34, as I always say, is it on scene beat, so we are getting into episode 35. But as I always say before we start, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. And let's get into this video, shall we? Now we know from the last one, Anton and Georgia H were currently on the 8th, and we know that the ex-islanders were making their return. Okay, so we shall see how all of that turned out. So you see Adam and Arabella wake up in the hideaway. Georgia H basically wakes up on her own, and basically she is trying to say is that no matter what she does, she doesn't believe that it's good enough in order to make Anton happy. I was just like, I'm sorry, what? She said, what? She said, what now? She doesn't know if she's doing enough to make Anton happy, or she's doing what she should be doing to try and make this man happy, but he's never happy. I don't understand how she misses out. Well, both of them did it at the end of the day. That's my bone to pick with them two. Both of them did it at the end of the day, yeah. Both of them literally glossed over the fact that Anton was angry because he was completely offended by what Georgia H had said about his character. That's what had happened. Yes, it was jovial. Yes, it started off jokey when they were kissing on the beanbags. But the instance of their argument was due to the fact that Georgia H was quite dismissive of his feelings, number one. And number two, was calling him out on his character. But yet, when they're both explaining it to people, they're both making it seem as though it was because Anton has his insecurities from previous relationships and feels as though when a negative is being shared, it's like a rejection of himself. I was like, these two should become spin doctors, because I've never known anything like it. I've never known a spin like this in all my life. Like, they're literally sitting there saying to people that the reason why they had the fallout was because of Anton's insecurities. Nothing about, as I've already said, that she called him out on his character, and that's what made him angry initially. But okay, let them do them, because you know what, I've spoken about them two till I'm blue in the face. At the end of the day, I don't see it. I do not see it. But I know through this episode, Josh was hella validated in everybody else saying what they were saying in regards to what everybody else saw about Georgia H and Anton. Josh was very much validated, and we'll get to that subject very, very soon. So you do see Chum having a chat with Callum. I can't remember who else he's with, but he's having a chat, and he's basically saying, and Molly is saying with the girls, that she opened up on the terrace that night, and like they were really going in the right direction, and Tom was gushing, and Callum was smiling, saying, well, that's good, my friend. I thought in my head, little do you know, Tom, it was Callum that had the discussion with Molly beforehand and gave her advice on how to open the hell up with you. As I said in my previous video, that was weird. Hella weird. I don't know if Tom would find it weird if he found out, but I would. I'd definitely find that hella weird. And then you see Molly massaging Tom, and basically, you know, getting in deep, sitting on him, and they're both chatting and everything like that, and the fact that Tom is gushing about how good she is with her hands, and like he can't wait to have another massage. Callum was hawking them hard. He was hawking them hard when that was happening. He even put his glasses on, then to take them off to look at them again, and he looked like he was not enjoying. He was not enjoying watching that in the slightest. And I said to myself, and that is, people, that is what we're talking about when we get to see little instances. I don't know if it's the way they make the edits within it, but we get to see little instances where we can see that there's actually probably a little smidgen of unfinished business between them. And all I'm saying is, It wouldn't surprise me if they start talking when they get out of the villa. That's all I'm saying. Because right now, it'll be a bit too much bait to do that shit within the villa if there is unfinished business. Not after they've made a song and dance that they ain't been doing anything or showing anything to people that would make people think that they were getting back together. But there are little instances that they have done that and made people question, well, will they, won't they, sort of situation. So Arabella is saying to Jess that she's beginning to catch feelings for Adam pretty quick. But you know what? They got on like a house on fire, to be fair. She's basically saying that Adam is the male version of herself, and it's just so easy with him in that sense. And you can see that it is quite easy, that Arabella is quite different. She's quite open in that regard with Adam. She doesn't have to be so motherfucking vocal like she's been with others up in that place, or try so hard with them. So Toby is gushing at the fact that he cannot wait to literally share Georgia S with his family and friends. And you know what? I'm going to say this, it's my opinion, my channel, I can say it. I actually do hope that things work out for them. With the amount of shit that they went through to spin back towards themselves, and now they're true to themselves in terms of how they're thinking and feeling and being with each other. I really do hope it works out for them. Like, seriously hope it works out for them. So Anton is talking about like where his mum is in his life, and he has definitely placed his mum on that pedestal, because he's basically said that if his mum doesn't like the girl that he's with, regardless if he likes them, regardless if he has feelings for them, if she don't like them, then that relationship is done. And I'm like, it's good that, you know, you value your mother's opinion, you value your mother's advice, which you should, but it gets into dangerous territory when you start to place your happiness lower than that of your mother's. I know it's a lot easier to have a girlfriend that your mom gets on with, but then essentially, if your mom gets on with that person, do they normally say it's akin to like dating your mother in that sense, because they've got to have some similarities in regards to the person that you're really close to? Yeah, I'm going to skip over that one. That's way too much conversation for that one. I am completely going to skip over that one. You hear all the girls start screaming, then all the lads go out on the terrace thinking what the fuck is going on. Then you all see the ex-islanders marching in with these serious looks on their faces and with these golden plaque hearts like in front of their chests, and then they all go and sit down outside of the fire pit. You could tell that these people's backsides were going like this, like it was clenching like motherfuckers, because they were bricking it, absolutely bricking it. So then the text comes in that they all have to go down to the fire pit. So basically what has to happen now is the fate of the Love Island's journey now is in the hands of the ex-islanders. So each of them, the ex-islanders, have voted who they would like to be unceremoniously dumped from the island at that minute after the vote, basically. So they have to turn their plaques over and show who the votes. So they have to give their reasons first, and the couple with the most votes will be dumped immediately. Yeah, they looked hella shocked, hella scared, and thought, shit, here we go again with the shenanigans. So Mitch starts first, and he said at the start he felt watching it that these people had it was one-sided and they were complete game players. So he then turned around and says, I don't even think that would work on the outside. And he says Georgia H and Anton. I was like, well, damn. Mitch set down a gauntlet there. But Georgia H may see it as Mitch being spiteful because they didn't get a chance to at least kind of finagle their connection. But no, my love, Mitch was there when you tried to have Josh and went back to Anton, and then you tried to have someone else, went back to Anton, him went back to Anton. But then after that came Casey. So don't forget, all of these people have been watching this show as it went along. So then Demi gets up and says basically this couple just don't have a deeper connection than the others, and doesn't think it's fair for them to continue. So she picks Arabella and Adam. Not surprising, to be fair, not surprising. But note, Arabella was quiet as a church mouse when Demi picked her, and the reasons why she picked them. She didn't say nothing to Demi. So then Chris gets on. Now, Chris, you would have expected to pick Arabella and Adam. He actually didn't. He picked Georgia H and Anton. And I was like, you could see the point where Georgia H literally got in her head, where she was like, oh my God, what Josh said was true. These people were flipping thinking these things and seeing these things, and now they're saying it. Josh is fully validated throughout this portion of the motherfucking program. Absolutely validated in his view and opinion. So then Kaz gets up, and again, Kaz picks Georgia H and Anton. And I says, you can individually, you two are great people, but together you're pants. Like, absolutely pants. You should not be together. But hey ho, that is just my opinion. But Lewis tried to throw a fox within the hen house and a spanner within the works by picking Molly and Tom. And the only reason why he picked Molly and Tom is because he felt like it was one-sided and felt that there was a other potential connection in the villa with another person. So when Tom called him out on it, he basically just started to go in terms of what he'd seen on screen. And Molly did turn around and say, but I don't know what it is that you lot are seeing on screen, but they are not doing anything in which to literally give people the impression that they are wanting to be together, because they don't even talk that much. My girl, your ex gave you advice on how to open up to your new boyfriend. If that don't scream weird to you and a little bit of he's too much in your business to me, I don't know what will. So then Libby picks Arabella and Adam. So then that's when Arabella piped up and literally started to verbally fight back, like, hell no, because the reasons that you're giving is absolutely shit in terms of why you've picked them. It was kind of a cop-out, to be fair. It really was a cop-out, because there were so many other people that they could have picked, Georgia H and Anton, to be fair, over Adam and Arabella, because at the end of the day, even though they were in there for such a short time, they had a better connection than Georgia H and Anton did, who were in there for quite a long time from the get-go, to be fair. So yeah, I understood where Arabella was coming from on that one. So then Tyler pipes up and basically says he feels as though the other couples are more suited and compatible than these two couples, and he's blasts out Georgia H and Anton's. And I'm like, there's nowhere for these people to hide anymore, because these are the ex-Islanders saying this shit, and they've obviously been watching the show and gathering their own thoughts on what they've been watching. So Hannah basically said that stronger relationships have been built, and of course she picks Arabella and Adam. And Jake said there's a few things he didn't agree with. They tried it before, but doesn't really think it will work on the outside. And his was a piss poor option. He picked Georgia S and Toby. And I'm like, them two weren't bothered at all by being picked. But also, Jake, you should have picked somebody else, because at the end of the day, that was a piss poor option. That was a complete cop-out if I've ever heard one. Because at the end of the day, now that they're there together, you can see that they are actually working towards something for the future. So for him to say, oh, they tried it before and now they're trying it again and don't think it will work on the outside, full of shit. It was piss poor. It was a piss poor reason to pick them, an absolute piss poor reason to pick them. And I think he let go of a good vote, because should have picked Georgia H and Anton. So Joanna goes up, she picks Arabella and Adam, and I have to say, I didn't very clearly understand the reasons that that Joanna gave. I didn't understand them, like, seriously, because at the end of the day, Arabella was your good friend in there, so why would you then go turn face and pick your good friend? That didn't make no sense to me. So Eve got up and she said, compared to other couples, theirs is a much stronger connection, but believes that this couple's connection is the weakest. Now, I thought she was going to say Georgia H and Anton, because that would have been the correct summarization to make. But no, she again says Arabella and Adam. Again, total cop out, absolute cop out. So then Joe gets up. Now he's the last one to have the deciding vote, and I'm like, my guy, what you need to do is pick Georgia H and Anton at the end of the day. That's where you need to put your vote, because if he picks Georgia H and Anton, they're out. If he picks Arabella and Adam, then they're out as well. They're out. So basically, he turned around and picked Arabella and Adam. I'm like, yeah, that was a stupid vote to give, but Arabella kind of expected it. And then when they were saying their buys and that, I clocked the fucking side eye that Josh gave Joe, as if to say, dude, like really, really well and truly. But yes, Arabella and Adam had gone. It was their time to exit the villa. But I would say Georgia H and Anton should not get comfortable in that feeling, because at the end of the day, it was only one vote. It was only one vote that saved their asses. One vote. So Arabella and Adam have their exit interview, and basically Arabella's of the same view that it should have been Georgia H and Anton that were voted in, especially two of the votes, especially with the vote that Joanna gave and Libby gave, because at the end of the day, the reasoning for voting Adam and Arabella weren't good reasons, and I agreed with her. And I'm sorry, but Georgia H and Anton have the most issues within that villa, have the most issues. So Maya did say something funny. She said, funny gets funny. I was like, well, damn, okay. That's a very good saying. I might take that for myself, to be fair. So then you see Georgia H and Anton, as everybody's getting ready for bed or getting ready for the nighttime beat. Well, actually, they're getting ready for the nighttime beat. As they do, start to do their freaking tour, like their freaking bullshit tour, as I call it, because this is where they start to talk and convince other people as to where their connection is. Even though all these other people have said what they said, they're still choosing to ignore the red flags in the room regarding themselves and them being together. But hey ho, they want to be together, so you know what? Let them go down that path. It's the fact that Georgia H turns to Anton and says, like, basically talks about proving them wrong. Now, this is where you kind of fall into the territory of, you know, a relationship is bad, but you will continue to hold on just to prove other people wrong in order to say, look how long we have been together, our relationship is working and all of you are wrong. And I think that's where it's going to fall into that territory where Georgia H won't be able to let go of Anton, because she literally wants to prove people wrong, that their relationship is something to fight for and it will be a good one. Again, y'all already know what my thoughts are on the Georgia H and Anton scenario. Like, seriously, I don't need to say anything more around that situation at all. So again, everybody's in their little groups talking about the votes that were made, and again Georgia H and Anton's being chatted, and this is what Josh was talking about. Everybody chatty Ketties, but no one's saying nothing to anybody's face in the slightest. So then at the end of all of that, you actually see Georgia H pull Josh for a chat, reinstating her friendship with him, because if it wasn't for the ex-Islanders coming in and saying what they were saying, she would have never spoke to Josh. She would never have made amends to Josh, because she just believed Josh was set out to harm her and Anton and their relationship, when he actually wasn't. He was telling the truth, and now she's seen it and she's heard it. She apologizes to Josh and reinstates her friendship with him. I was like, she's full of shit. Like, she's absolutely full of shit. Like, seriously, Georgia H is absolutely full of shit. Now Josh is her best friend. Now the relationship is righted. I'm like, okay, so the tables have turned there. Our tables have turned. And she said their friendship goes far deeper than the villa. I'm like, but you were ready to dash that friendship away, like literally call him all the snakes under the sun and dash that friendship away. If it wasn't for the ex-Islanders coming in and saying what they said, you would not be having this conversation with Josh right now. It's because Josh was very much validated in his reasoning and what he said to you, but you didn't want to listen to at the time. Told you in my last episodes truth hurts like a motherfucker, and Georgia H didn't want to recognize the truth of what Josh was saying to her. She didn't want to recognize that truth, but now she's had it slapped in her freaking gob. Now she recognizes that truth. Anyway, text comes in, and now the finalists are Georgia S and Toby, Georgia H and Anton, Josh and Sophie, Callum and Jess, and Molly and Tom. And all I'm going to say is basically, I know the live final is tonight, which I am going to watch. But I hope Josh and Sophie win, to be fair. I really do. I hope people vote for Josh and Sophie to win. They've been the less problematic ones in there, to be fair. It would be nice to see Georgia S and Toby win, but that's not going to happen. That is not, even though they're complete underdogs in there, that is not going to happen. The public ain't going to let that happen. But yeah, I hope Josh and Sophie win. But that's where I'm going to leave it now, my renegades. I will be back because I will watch the live final, and then hopefully be able to do a video straight after the live final. So I will speak to you all on the flip side. But as I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.